Oh no! It's morning!
And that means it's time for the Rotten Mornings Best way to start your morning off.
Had your cookie.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Rotten Mornings.
Welcome.
I'm Scott.
I'm Matt.
I'm Brandy.
I'm Grim.
I'm Freebird.
Hell yeah.
That's Jay's son.
Awesome. Guys, I hope you guys all slept well. It's an interesting morning. I haven't had much sleep, so if I doze off, just give me a little punch up. That'll be fine.
We'll be glad to punch you, Scott.
Hey, Scott, how come you're always tired when you're not around us?
Because I work for a living. Hey, lots of news to report in the rotten news world.
News.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yay, me too. Go ahead, Matt.
You want me to... No, sir.
So, us Rottens, we attended the Haunted Chicken House acting class, and it went phenomenally well.
Yeah, we had all of us there, and Brandy and Graham and me and Scott and Frankie and Everett was there. And
we got to film some too.
We got to film. The acting class went fucking phenomenal. All the people that showed up were awesome. They did a kick-ass job.
Yes.
Like, we got some great footage. I know y'all haven't seen all the footage we got, but guys, it looks really, really good. Everybody that filmed it, a fucking phenomenal job. I love all the footage. I promise I will get to it. Unfortunately, it is a very fucking busy weekend, apparently.
We got photos of Dan choking me, Matt sitting on his lap, and Brandy scolding Dan.
Yep.
Yes, we did.
Man, that was a really, really good time. And just a big shout out to Bobo. That guy, not only did he really step up and show them great examples of acting, but he also kind of stood up as a leader, which he always just phenomenal to get to watch that. So I was really proud of him.
Watching him is phenomenal. And Dan kind of sort of kept his distance because he wanted it to be that way. And that's DeBobo from the Haunted Chicken House. He is just a phenomenal dude.
And I think all of you did well too. Matt, Brandy, Scott, Frankie, all of you did there.
You did well too, Grim.
Grim ate boiled eggs.
Frankie, shut the fuck up.
I think that we were all boiled eggs on that day.
Yes. And
definitely boiled.
I was definitely boiled.
August 3rd, we released a podcast episode of Rotten and Friends. And, well, fucking what? It's Rotten Morning Friends! Shut the fuck up! I can't read my writing.
Dude, every single project I now call Grim and Rotten, or Rotten Kids, or Grim and Rotten, or Rotten and Grim Kids.
It's one of them. I don't know. I think Marlon made a shirt about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Marlon's shirt. Is anybody seen his new shirt?
Yes.
His new shirt is awesome.
I love it.
Ooh, I'm the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, God damn it, it's the creature from the Black Lagoon. We had a kick-ass interview with Ritalin. That went really, really well.
Yes.
Absolutely
adore that guy.
He made a little commercial on TikTok about it, and Scotty Boy made a hilarious commercial on TikTok about it. Very cool stuff.
And August 5th, we went to Six Flags.
Yes, we did.
And I think, Brandy, what was your favorite ride?
Oh, I really loved the Haunted Mansion.
Yes, Monster Mansion. That was fun. I love that.
It was awesome.
Wait, you guys went to Disney World and didn't tell me about it?
Yes.
No, we went to Six Flags, but their ride was also called that.
Because the mouse gets all pissy.
Yeah, you're probably gonna get sued now. So congratulations.
No. You're gonna get sued. You said the mouse.
Hey, it was Frankie that said that. Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about. My name's Freebird.
My favorite ride was the DC Dark ride. I love the shit out of that. I haven't got to ride that.
Awesome.
I thought it was phenomenal.
I think Brandy loved that ride too a lot.
Yes, I did.
My favorite was
cool.
the Riddler Mindbender. I fucking loved that. But yeah, we rode lots of rides, and I did not vomit. I can't believe it.
Yay!
Frankie released, Freebird released a new podcast.
That was Frankie. This is Freebird.
This is Frankie.
That was Frankie Rock.
Does he damn have?
He's the weather guy.
Weather Guy released a new episode of his Rotten Inside. And it was amazing because Brandy was in it.
Yep.
Guys, we should probably check and make sure that what we're recording right now isn't somehow just going straight into the toilet somehow.
It's in the toilet right now.
Because I actually interviewed with an hour for that, over an hour for that episode, because the first half-hour interview completely just silence because I accidentally hit the fucking mute button on the microphone. Right at the very beginning.
I don't want to hear it, and not only do I not want to hear it, I don't even have that option.
I don't know. I think we had some gold in that first 30 minutes.
I think that our podcast has been plagued with that because that same shit happened when we tried to do the first episode of Morning Friends with Jason. The whole first got deleted.
Right.
We have lost literally hours of content just from like little technical snafus.
Yep. The last Nightmare podcast we did, we lost fucking 45 minutes to the gray.
That's right.
God, on the worst film. The episode about the worst film.
So remember, you guys got to listen to a Cliff Notes version of one of the parts of that, so it would have been a lot longer. It was really longer for us.
Yep.
Shouldn't have that problem this morning.
No, if there's a relation between our episode and how awesome the movie is, this should be a pretty fucking short episode.
Oh shit. Again, I want to bring more attention to that shirt. Marlon's now got 4 new shirt designs up for us. They are bad as fuck. He's still working with the autism program, and I've seen a lot of very cool puppets that he's put out recently.
Yes.
Puppets that the kids have made with him. I saw a couple of videos of them doing puppet shows and Marlon kind of improvising. And dude, I think we could put Marlon behind a curtain and just set up a camera and give him some puppets, and that would be a hell of a show.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Mr. Marlon is badass. We love you.
He's just such a phenomenal guy. He's so supportive, and he's just a community icon.
Yeah. Agreed, which makes you wonder why he's wasting his time paying attention to us.
No shit.
It's one of those things. Take the compliment, right? Like,
how hard that is.
Yeah, that's like one of the things that we do not do well. But yeah,
when people start complimenting us, it just makes our product become less because we're like, oh fuck, they liked it. Got to tone it down a bit.
Is this a rotten shirt? It looks really good. I know.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, guys. We tried. That's awesome.
So we also had an interview for our next episode of Morning Friends with Rotten with Nicole DeLivid, and that went really well. She is an amazing special effects artist. She works for Silo.
I keep saying
Silo of Screams.
Yes, and unfortunately wasn't able to be a part of it, and we're all very sad about that.
Brandy was rode hard and put up. That's how you say it. That's cowboy talk. It's horses.
Talk. It's a piece of shit talk.
Okay, but horses.
Shut up.
Okay.
Tired from all the shit we had to do and all the shit she had to put up with from us.
Yes.
I was exhausted and I did not make it to the interview. I passed out.
That sounds awesome.
and then I was so exhausted that I decided to leave the state.
Yeah, exhausted of our shit.
That literally, you're saying exactly the things that I do.
That's a bad example. Brandy, come back.
Brandy, come back.
I do think it's funny. I do think it's funny that I hadn't even been gone an hour before Grim started texting me that Matt was already pissing her off.
Which is bullshit.
I was wrong, and I just can't live
That was
without
Matt texting you from Grim's phone.
I could see that too.
We got bruises all over each other, and Matt's leg is broken.
So, in more news, we Saturday we were at the City of the Chaoses.
Yes.
Yes.
And that went really well.
We really enjoyed it.
We really hope that it went well.
On the plus side, for anybody that doesn't know, it won't just be me and Grim. Scotty Boy is going to try to make it because his plans got changed. And the Everett will probably have been there with us also.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So I love your future, past, present tense.
Yeah, you like that? You like that?
He will be, and he will have already been there.
Yes, he will, and has, and may also have had been.
Everett is there now.
Yes, Everett is at the City of Chaos. We buried him.
Wait, he's there now, as in now, or like as in we're in the future? And
anytime you listen to this podcast, Grim, I think I cut you off. What were you saying? Oh, maybe I didn't. Okay,
somebody cut her off.
Sorry,
I didn't say anything.
She didn't say nothing.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know why you were looking at me.
Everybody was like, "Hey, let's give the floor to Grim," and Grim's over here like fucking watching.
I hate the floor. Is there any other news?
Yeah.
I don't. Oh, is there?
Yeah. Hey, Scott.
Frankie,
Scott.
shut up. Shut up, Frankie.
Hey, Scott. Hey, Scott.
Yes.
Engaged, Scott.
Yes.
Are you ready to be on Rotten Inside next episode?
I thought that was Grim's episode.
No, not unless Grim changed her name to Scott Autry.
I might.
Which she could, because
that would be
put
funny.
It past her. She's like, it's $35. I can do it once a year.
Anyway, regardless, anybody want a weather report? Anybody interested in that?
Well, one more piece of news. I know that later on today we have another interview for an upcoming episode of Morning Friends with Rotten.
Willie Vodka.
Yeah.
Who is just an amazingly talented, badass individual that is the most humble fucker that I personally know. Like,
I would definitely never, ever punch him in the face or allow anybody else to punch him. I think he's amazing.
Oh.
You heard it here, folks. Grim won't punch one person in the face. I think this is a kinder, gentler Grim that we're getting. And,
I don't know that.
Yes, I am very kind and gentle. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah,
but not to Matt.
I'll give you $5 later.
Deserves it.
For not punching me in the face for saying that. So, yeah, I think we're getting close. We are less than a month out from some haunts starting to start up.
Wow.
Yeah, which is a little terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Which should be though. I'm very excited to get in and start seeing some scary stuff. Actually,
Spooky.
I just got a trip planned to check out the Netherworld this year with my daughter. So very excited for that.
Nice.
Now I'll get to take more people with me to haunts. Cool guys. What other is that the news? Did we do it?
I think that's the news, except for the weather.
Let's do the weather.
Today's weather report. Did you say something? Oh, I can't hear you over the helicopter.
I thought that was the sound of clapping cheeks.
Today's weather, mostly dark with periods of red and blue lights.
Is that it?
Is that all? What?
Well, yeah.
Come on, give us some more, Frankie.
You want some more poetry, or what are you saying here?
Come on.
I'm confused. Are you getting pulled over in the helicopter?
Yeah, I think he got pulled over in the helicopter.
There's other helicopters. There's other helicopters, and some of them are police helicopters.
So did they? Yeah, they like pull over, and he has to stop in the air.
I am driving this helicopter while drunk, just so you know. So yes, I'm being pulled over by another helicopter.
How's that work?
I think they're both gonna crash.
Yeah. Well, I'll have a helicopter breathalyzer, and then I'll get beaten up by the helicopter cops.
Beaten up by the helicopter cop.
So, Brandy, are you having fun with your new friends? I'm actually really jealous of your friends having to be around you when it should be me.
This is an emergency commercial break. Emergency commercial break. Hey guys, we had an unexpected commercial break, and we didn't have a commercial loaded up for it, so we came back.
Well,
is that what?
I hate these pop-up commercials when they come right in between like stuff we're talking about, and then there is no commercial.
It's the weirdest thing. You can't even skip ad because there's not anything to skip. Drives me crazy. That was the weather, and we've hit the news. Guys, was there anything else that we needed before we jump to the next section?
I'm dead.
Oh,
You need a what?
an appendix.
For what?
I don't know.
Why would you need that?
I don't know. People use them sometimes.
No, not you.
Oh, okay. I don't need an appendix, guys.
That's that.
Okay.
Well, we've just funded the next Rotten movie. Okay, guys. This has been the news. Join us after this quick commercial break, and we will jump into our movie of the day.
Coming this October, as night falls on a quarantined prison somewhere in Vincent, Alabama, vampires have taken over at Hellbilly Hollow, and things will never be the same.
Come visit Hellbilly Hollow in Vincent, Alabama. You'll have the best night of your life.
Yes, we'd love to have you in our neck of the woods.
The wait is driving us batty.
This year, we've raised the stakes. Join us.
Join us. One of Alabama's top-rated haunts. This is the one for you.
Hellbilly Hollow Haunted House Attraction in Vincent, Alabama. Open at 7 p.m. every Friday and Saturday in October.
Tickets available at the door.
Exclusive merchandise. Tasty concessions. Live entertainment.
Well-lit bathrooms.
For more information, check us out on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and at hellbillyhollow.com. And we will see you there.
Join us.
Hello.
I made it.
Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we're talking about. Wait a minute, this can't be right. I thought we already covered all the Freddy movies.
Yeah, I did
Nope.
too.
Yeah, and then like we did Freddy's Dead. That was all of them except for the other one that was out of canon. What is this?
Yeah, I was confused about this myself. This is Freddy versus Jason.
Oh boy. Okay, guys. Well, today we're talking about Freddy versus Jason, the 48th film in this installment series. What is this? Is this 7? Is this 8?
This is 7.
Oh boy.
No, this is 8.
This is 8.
Yes. It's 8. It is 8 for the Nightmare franchise. Yes.
So, just so you guys know, we will be covering
for the 13th.
Yeah, something. Just so you guys know that we will be covering this this movie again when we go through the Jason films. So
yeah,
just a little
good. I got a lot to say about it.
Good. Well, I guess let's go around and everybody give their ideas, their initial thoughts on it. Matt, you want to start?
Yeah, I will start. My initial thought is that this movie is fucking badass and it never gets any kind of good press because everybody's like, oh, it was so hokey and goofy. And it's like, dude, this is the fucking most Shaolin ninja fucking Fusion fucking movie that has ever been in the slasher genre. So kudos to that.
Fair enough. Graham?
I felt like this movie was definitely much better than the last we had to watch. The soundtrack should have been different. I think all the songs in it, besides Matt's one favorite little song, was shit. But I found it to be pretty action-packed and I liked it.
Who is moving around?
What is all that?
It sounds like there's a TV playing in the background somewhere.
That might be on my end. I can't do anything about that.
Okay. Brandy, your thoughts?
Well, it's the bastard son of 100 maniacs versus old hockey mask zombie. What can go wrong?
Yeah, that's great. Great synopsis. Frankie?
Okay, so it makes no sense that this movie is as good as it is. Freddy versus Jason, it feels like it was ghost directed by Michael Bay with a soundtrack that's a who's who of shitty new metal. Why does this work? Why does it work?
Why?
But P.S. Typo negative is excused from that comment because they were also on the soundtrack.
That's what Grim was saying about my favorite song. She said, aside from that song, that's the typo song.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is Pirate Blaze, right?
I forget what it was called. It's not Pirate Blaze.
It was Electric.
Yeah, it was Electric something.
Slide?
No, I think it's Electro Cute.
Electro Cute.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like C-Cute.
Yeah, something like that.
Electro Cute.
Good.
But yeah, I really don't understand why this movie works as well as it does, and with the exception of some hiccups there at the end, it is a fucking blast, and it's actually really clever how they got these characters together and got their conflict set up. I dig it. I've dug it since the first time we watched it.
I think for me, this is really a great example of. We see so many times directors are like hounded by the fan base to change something or to do something, and then they're like, "It's not going to work, guys. I don't want to do that." And then they're like, "You know what, fan base, fine. Here, fuck it, take this. The Venom in Spider-Man 3 comes to mind because that wasn't supposed to be in there, and the fan base is like, "No, you gotta do Venom." And he's like, "All right, well, here's a shitty version of that." This is the fans have been clamoring this forever, and for people who say this is like campy or hokey or whatever, what did you want this film to be? Like, this is what this is the film that it should have been. This was Jason represented in a really elegant way, or a really true to his nature kind of way. It was Freddy true to his nature. This is the only film it could have been.
Couldn't agree with you more.
I didn't go into this thinking it was going to be a mood piece, you know, like a very, very subtle, atmospheric, you know.
I was expecting Top Gun style, like, you know, metaphorism.
Right, well, you got that. There's a lot of metaphorism.
I was hoping that Freddy was going to have a lot more kills in this, but unfortunately, Jason stole them all.
Well, that was the conflict between them. But, I mean, we'll get to that. And Freddy metaphorized into a caterpillar. Is that what you're talking about?
I guess that kind of works.
Guys, today's episode is brought to you by Metafries. The snack treat we're all eating while recording this podcast.
It's delumptuous.
Brandy, I know that you are out of town right now, but do you got some numbers written down?
I do.
You want to go over those real quick?
I can do that. So, Freddy vs. Jason was released on August 15th of 2003. It was directed by Ronnie Yu. It was written by Damian Shannon and Mark Swift and produced by Sean S. Cunningham of New Line, but also with Crystal Lake Entertainment. The budget was $30 million. The box office was $116.6 million. An opening weekend saw $36.4 million.
It's pretty good numbers.
And it's amazing to me that we haven't seen more of the versus type films, but I guess it just goes to show how hard these movie studios defend their properties, you know, because they're most of them are owned by different production companies.
Yep.
Well, I think isn't all of this New Line owned properties now?
Nope.
Well, New Line did buy the rights in order to do this movie. Whether or not they still have it, I don't know.
I thought the remake of Friday the 13th was a New Line's film.
I don't know. I thought it might be Lionsgate.
Oh, actually, neither one of us know.
Well, I know that this movie, Freddy vs. Jason, was in talks way before it was actually made. And it was originally supposed to be made in 1987, but New Line and Paramount couldn't agree on the story, and each of the companies wanted control of the crossover. Yeah. So New Line did end up buying the rights to Jason after the release of Part 8 of Friday the 13th, which was Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah. Not a classic.
But that was specifically so they could do this movie. So I don't know whether or not they kept the rights to it or not. I just know that they got it in order to do Freddy versus Jason.
Hell yeah. Matt, you want to run through a synopsis real quick?
Yes, indeed. So this movie starts off with it's excuse me. It starts off with a little girl in the boiler room, and Freddy's there
with Matt vomiting.
He's vomiting. And he's talking about being the Springwood slasher, which, if I'm not mistaken, that is the first and only time that has been actually stated in one of the movies.
Agreed. Like they had the newspaper headlines in one of them, but I don't think anyone ever actually referred to him as the Springwood slasher until this one.
Yeah, and so he says that, setting that into motion. And of course, then he kills this little girl, throws her doll in the fire, and then like grossly licks the picture.
There's a close up of his veiny eyes.
Yeah. And so I really like the way this Freddy looks because it's a good combination between the Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and the Nightmare on Elm Street from New Nightmare. It's like a better combination of it, where you still have the deep gouges. Anyways, so Freddy does a little, hey, this is who I am. This is what's up. I got to find somebody else to kill for me. Flash forward to where you have this girl. She's having a house party. Her friends come over. They invite the jockey boys over. Not the jockey boys, but these boys are jocks.
Well, she wasn't actually wanting to have a house party. She was planning on being by herself. 2 of her friends came over, and then they invited more people.
Yeah, look, just real quick from A to B synopsis. We'll go back. So the guys come over. Jason comes in, kills one of them. The girl finds him. They all run out of the house. Cops show up. Hey, do you need some help? They're like, fucking, this guy's dead. They all go to the cop place. Cops happen to mention Freddy Krueger's name because it is in Springwood. The main character girl, Lori, gets it in her head when she hears the name. She falls asleep and has a little bit of a dream about it. It starts being purveyed that it could be Freddy. Next thing you know, another one of the guys from the same thing, he gets killed by Jason. Freddy tries to kill him, but he doesn't have the power to yet. And it kind of solidifies his existence even more. Eventually, they end up going to a party. Her boyfriend escapes from Windhurst Asylum.
Wyndham Hills or Wind something Hills.
Yep.
Winderfliggin.
That's what it is.
That's it.
It's pronounced Winderfliggin.
Okay, good. So he comes back, finds his girlfriend.
Western Hills.
Western Hills. Sounds like a fucking mall. But
that's what I said.
But she passes out when she sees her boyfriend, who's been gone for like X amount of years. She comes to, he basically explains to her this whole breakdown of how he's been in a loony bin and they've been doped up because of something. And he has this theory that his dad killed her mom. The other kid has a theory that his brother didn't actually commit suicide, that there was something else to it. They effectively get together and fucking spread the fear of Freddy. The main girl, whose boyfriend got killed in the beginning, she gets killed. Then Jason comes into their party and just fucking destroys the shit out of everybody. They all run and they're like, yeah, hey, P.S. fuck that Freddy guy, this Jason guy. He's a fucking big problem. And Freddy's like down there like, no, you stupid bitch, me. So Freddy's the whole time like, I got to get this shit back under control. Somehow they adopt a new main character halfway through the movie who is a parody of Jason Mewes. Then they go to the loony bin and they fucking try to figure out something to do, and then Freddy habits the stoner guy. He dumps all the Redafin out. I mean, not Redafin. Hypnozil. Yep. Then Freddy, possessing the kid, puts Jason, he shoots him up with all these tranks. And then Laurie's like, well, we can't just let him win because we got to kill Freddy, because Laurie's biggest concern is killing the guy who killed her mom, because she starts to realize that it was Freddy that did it. So, of course, they drag Jason's body out to Camp Crystal Lake for some fucking reason. And she goes to sleep and tries to pull Freddy out. She pulls Freddy out. He wakes up in Camp Crystal Lake with Jason in his fucking ass. And they get to tussling. They tussle for a while. And a lot of people lose their lives. And eventually they get comically thrown off of a dock. Then they get back up on the dock and they cut each other's arms off, start sticking each other with their own weapons. Then they fall off the dock again. Then they get back on the dock and get killed again. And then Jason walks out of the water with Freddy's head. The end.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the movie, guys. Thanks for
all right.
tuning
So
in.
stay rotten.
All right.
So let's roll it all the way
bitch
back.
All right. So this, first of all, we kind of have to bring up the obvious, right? This is not Jason from the movies.
No. And that was the biggest complaint that everybody had.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Kane Hodder.
Yeah.
Well, this is the tallest Jason. There's that. Tallest Jason.
This is the tallest Jason.
That is actually Kane Hodder does not know why he didn't get to play Jason in this one, and that was the only thing he could come up with was that he thinks it's because the other guy was taller.
Well, even Ronnie Wu says he didn't really care who it was, but the studio wanted big, stocky versus wiry and jumpy, sort of the whole like Rocky fight thing. So that's what happened. So they just got somebody else to play Jason.
Ken Kersinger?
Ken Kersinger. It's Kersinger.
Something.
Yeah. And you know, I think that it's going to be a controversial statement, but I think that Kane Hodder being Jason and being the definitive Jason is a narrative that comes from Kane Hodder and not from the studios itself.
Did you notice that all the Jasons kind of consider themselves the quintessential Jason, though?
Except for Ken Kisser.
Yeah. Ali Larder does, or whatever his name is. We met him. He was pretty cool. What was his name?
Wasn't Ali Larder. It was Ari.
Ari Lieberman.
Ari.
Can't fucking remember his goddamn name.
You just made him a lawyer, and now I'm in small claims court. The other thing that we should point out is that this isn't the Freddy per se from this Nightmare on Elm Street series, because this doesn't fit into any timeline.
Well, I kind of disagree with that.
That's okay. You can be wrong.
To me, if you kind of follow the drafts of what this was going to be, it's almost as if Freddy lost the dream demons and was trying to figure out a way to, like, he was already can resurrect himself, but he was even less powerful without the dream demons.
No, but hold on there. Hold on. This movie retcons the dream demons out of the entire plot line, because when he's burned they're already in this one, when he's burned in this one, remember when it flashes back to him being originally burned by the parents? No dream demons, no demon semen.
Yeah, but I still don't think that retcons them out. I just think that that's a move through it as quickly as possible. To me,
no, what that was is a fucking joke. Learn how to take one. I was pretty proud of that joke that they left out the demon semen and you had to fuck it all up.
Hold on a second. I did not see in the script where we were supposed to laugh at that joke. I needed to turn the page. I apologize for that.
It's right under the line that says "Go fuck yourself."
Oh shit! There it is.
I didn't get the script.
Page 13.
It's right above Grimm's a piece of shit.
I gave you a courtesy laugh. You're a piece of shit.
So, there's, I love this movie. I love the shit out of this movie. There were a lot of choices in this movie that didn't make a lot of sense, but I still love the shit out of this movie. So of course, Freddy Krueger explains his story, does a little breakdown of it from A to B.
Which I kind of like the way this movie opens with him narrating himself.
Yeah.
Hey, did you notice that when he was, going over and reviewing his dream powers in the montage, they were using an awful lot of footage from part 2.
Yeah.
And that shit didn't really come into play much in part 2.
Yeah.
No. The only thing that they used the reference for part 2 for was him actually possessing someone.
Yes.
Well, wasn't 2 the only other film that had Hypnosil in it?
No, because they reference it in 3 and I think 4 too.
Yes.
What does he say?
Graham wrote down what he said. This is what Freddy says, right? He says, I had to search the bowels of hell, but I found someone. Someone will make him remember. He may get the blood, but I get the glory. And that fear is my ticket home, bitch.
Hey, by the way, did you guys pick up on the fact that Freddy being forgotten leads to him being completely ineffective? Validates everything we've been saying regarding the protagonists actually being villains in these earlier installments.
1000%, and still continue to do it in this fucking film with no idea why they got the notion that was true. But at one point, one of the kids is like, oh, holy fucking shit, this is what he does. And then they're like,
I know.
Okay, but
I know that was Mark. Mark sits there and figures it out. And I love that so much. He's just sitting there and he figures out, he's like, oh, wait, I fucked up. Like I walked into the school and told everybody about Freddy.
Yep.
What an
idiot. I loved that.
The one thing that I think was missing from the montage was the 2 grips that just casually walk by. I think they should have that in the montage. That
I
there's
don't know why they didn't.
There's stuff going on, and then it's just a guy with some costumes on a rack just walks through for the transition between scenes.
A parakeet explodes. Like, why?
It's like, they don't remember me. I gotta get that parakeet back out.
It's just a dead parakeet puppet now.
You think if I went with a larger bird, it would, have more effect?
Cut to Sesame Street, and Big Bird just fucking explodes in front of the kids, and they're all just like sitting there staring with their jaws dropped open.
It looks like that bird that was hit by that picture.
And the kids are like, oh, it's obviously Freddy. And Freddy's like, yeah, bitch, I'm coming back. And cuts back to the kids, and they're like, Freddy Fazbear. Who the fuck's Freddy Krueger?
Son of a bitch. So, we go through Freddy's
to Freddie Highmore. Like, what happened to that kid? Doesn't matter.
So you suddenly open up on Freddy infecting Jason's dreams, and he gives Jason a fever dream of like his perfect scenario, which is a girl taking her clothes off, jumping into a lake, and immediately regretting that decision.
A booby
By
scene.
the way, go ahead.
No, please.
Do it. I was just talking about booby scene.
Yeah, definitely booby scene. By the way, where was Mark?
It was Mike.
Mike. I'm sorry. Where was Mike?
Know where Mike went.
I mean, she was asking for a mic.
Oh, she's like, Mike, you can't hear me well. And then Craven walks over there with a mic, and he's like, all right, here you go. Speaking to this, tits.
Something like that. Either way, I guess it doesn't matter because this isn't actually happening, as it turns out.
Yes.
Well, there was no mic. There was no mic anyway because it was playing out as if she knew somebody was watching her and assumed it was Mike. That's why she was calling out for him.
She was like, Mike, I know what. Go ahead, Scott.
That wasn't Scott.
Oh, go ahead. Go.
But she was saying it as though she had gone to the lake with somebody and was inviting somebody in. It doesn't matter though, because in the end there is nobody there because this isn't really happening. Jason apparently dreams of kills he's had in the past while he is dormant.
Or Freddy somehow found a way to make him dream in order to be able to do this.
Yeah, something like that. Either way, he was dreaming.
I think what's lost to a lot of people is that Jason is dreaming about this woman and she keeps looking back and saying Mike, and she's actually talking to Mike Myers.
Yes, exactly. It's another one of those underscore references.
And you know what's funny? Like, all right, so when he catches her in the woods and stabs her, he stabs her with this magical machete that's blade grows to 6 feet long when he stabs. And it also has +5 against trees and naked women who are in their 20s but pretending to be teenagers.
Yep.
I think most machetes can go to that length if you wink at it and you blow on it.
You're an idiot. So
did you have a stroke?
Yes.
He was stroking out.
So then it turns into all the people he's killed, and then his mom's there, and she's like, Jason, you have to kill the mother again. And he's like, all right, chill, cool.
And the chick that's on the tree is like, I deserve to be punished. We all deserve to be punished.
That would have been. I would have loved for her to say that. Blah, 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 blah.
And then it turns out that Freddy is actually Jason's mom, which makes a weird sort of twisted sense.
It's a weird family tree.
I'm your mother, bitch.
God damn it.
Hey, that really makes sense why he beheaded her at the end.
Yeah, exactly. I just like your sweater and your head. Let's be honest. You're kind of a shitty mom.
Just like your sweater and your head.
Oh, the mom let him know that his gift is he can never die.
Yeah. Freddy tells him, you can never die.
And wake up and go to Elm Street.
I'm just living for how much Urza is in this episode.
No, let me go ahead and tell you. Urza is asleep, dude. That is not Urza.
That is not Urza, actually. That is the dog where I am at, which because I am sitting outside, she thinks it is my job to throw the ball for her over and over and over and over.
Well,
so that's what I'm doing.
That sounds like an Urza.
It definitely sounds like an Urza.
But instead, it is a Maxie.
That's crazy that you're like, Urza's asleep. Dun, dun, dun.
Brandy's just sitting over there going, hey, I'm going to contribute.
I'm surprised Urza isn't listening to my voice and hearing that I'm cheating on her with another dog and being pissed off about it.
Well, maybe we're in Urza's dream right now.
That's it.
That's fair.
Not my dream.
Hey guys, we're going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, we will talk more about this delightful little film.
Delightful little film. Fuck you.
Oh. What? That was definitely Urza.
Your gift is that you can't die.
Don't go that way, man. You know who's back there? It's that serial killer from that movie.
What? Why are they here? I thought they were supposed to be chasing the kids at summer camp or invading the nightmares of the kids on that one street.
Well, they're all here. Brought in to fight off the mutant chickens, and now it's a horror free-for-all.
Oh. Where do I buy tickets?
The Haunted Chicken House in Heflin is the largest tourist attraction in East Alabama.
Open every weekend in October. Tickets are $15 per attraction. 2 for $25 and 3 for $40.
Ride the hayride of horrors.
Visit the Haunted Chicken House.
Defy death in the infamous Crazy Train.
For more information, check us out on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and thehauntedchickenhouse.com. And we'll see you there.
And we're back.
We're back. Sorry.
That was a commercial.
Yay!
Commercial.
All right. So where did we leave our captivated audience?
Well, this is where he sends Jason out of the dream to go after, the kids on Elm Street. And he turns around, the mother turns around and turns into Freddy, and he's like, I've been away from my children for far too long.
That was really good. That was good.
Bitch.
And then it plays a shitty piece of like Five Finger Death Punch or something.
God, yeah.
I don't know what the fuck it was, but it was next. I don't know what came next.
So, then you pick up on her at the house party. And, well, she's just having a few girlfriends over, and her girlfriends are chilling with her. And then all of a sudden...
They're playing Fuck, Marry, Kill with the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
Who the fuck does that? No teenager cares about that shit. What the fuck?
No.
This was 93. It was a different time.
Even then.
It was boring. Mass media was on its rise, but it hadn't quite gotten there yet.
Oh, Gibbs flicks a cigarette into Jason's face. The disrespect.
But I'm going to go ahead, since you brought up Gibb, and I know it's early in the proceedings, but Gibb straight up gets the God status this episode. She fucking comes hard. That motherfucker, every line she says is pure gold.
I agree. I love.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to talk over you, but I was just saying I agree too. She's definitely probably my favorite character.
Probably my favorite line of hers is when her douchebag that she's fucking is like, hey, my neck, it feels awful rough there. I need you giving me a massage. And she's just like, I'm going to need a few more drinks before I do any massaging. And then it cuts to him again, and she's totally riding the dick. And
Brandy said that reminded her of the scene from Behind the Mask.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
So
it was another tit shower scene. That was Gibbs. That was her body double. That wasn't actually.
I knew that was going to be a body double.
Yes. The biggest fight occurred on scene between the person that played Gibbs, Catherine Isabel, and between Ronnie Yu. She had signed a contract stating that she was not going to be nude. She didn't want to be nude, and Ronnie promised her that she wasn't going to have to be. And then he started being pushy during this filming scene and going back on his promise and everything. And she said, fuck no. She stood her ground. So they used a body double.
See, that once again, completely validating my choice of who gets God status.
He was like really pressuring her to do that, and she still did not.
Yeah, that's fucked up that he did that, but that's awesome that she handled it like she did.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm digging that. I think that message needs to be out there more. Like, hey, just stand up for shit, and that ain't always easy to do, and doesn't always seem like that's the option. Yeah, no doubt. So that's props.
Absolutely. And then the first actual kill was Trey.
Yeah, Freddy comes in here, or excuse me, Jason comes in and just stabs into the bed. And here's one of the blaring issues I had with almost every single one of the Jason kills. I don't think he could see at all through the mask. So they were fucking shipped very far away. Every one of his kills cuts with the person nowhere near fatal distance from him. You know what I mean?
6-foot machete, Matt.
Yeah,
That's fair. But if you notice in the Trey scene, he rolls over, and where Jason would be stabbing at, he's not at anymore.
Exactly. It would just be an empty mattress.
But they kind of tried to cut it really fast, so they got it all in shot, and then it just showed the mattress and him being stabbed, which was fun because you saw guts and shit pushing through the mattress. But then he steps back and folds the mattress in half, and that's great.
Okay,
Yeah,
hold on, guys. Hold on. Before we get there, we've missed some huge things that we need to talk about. Okay? First of all, in this film, the door is yellow.
Yes.
So I guess that's a push.
It's a push. But at the same time, it also covers in blood many a times.
Doesn't count.
You can
It's
go to
not
hell.
paint.
Well, obviously it's painted.
All right, so
doesn't red and blue make yellow?
I
no.
hate you.
Pretty sure I'm right, guys. Pretty sure I'm right. Go ahead. Pretty sure I'm right.
Okay, so the next one, and I actually did a little research of my own here. Another ball scratch in this movie.
Oh yeah.
When they're talking in the hallway and they look out there at the dude, totally scratches his nut. But it's a far away shot this time. So for this film, what they did was they actually green screened out the stuntman's head that was actually performing the ball scratch, and digitally added in the actor's head in post. This was necessary to make sure that the actor was in no danger of actually coming in contact with testicles.
And it was actually Bob Shaye's body in Wes Craven's one appearance in this movie was scratching the balls.
That was that was a delight to see. That for some reason we've started scratching balls in this series of films.
A lot of people don't realize that until the series of films came out, ball scratching had never been shown in cinemas.
You're an idiot.
The ball scratcher.
But back to the first Jason kill, and my note just says, fuck yeah. Jason's first kill equals fuck yeah. After spending weeks neck deep in Freddy Krueger, I only need 15 minutes of a film with Jason in it to remind me why Friday the 13th is a better series. Fight me.
Boo. Now remember, guys, this is from the one person out of 1,000 that stands up against the poodle war. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Hey, no, that has nothing to do with this. You're immoral fucking war, where you're abusing animals or training animals to abuse each other. I'm not really sure how that's working, but either way, it's immoral and it's reprehensible, and I'll not stand for it. But that has nothing to do with this.
It's what you don't understand.
I'm just really kind of enjoying the fact that Frankie gives up being Italian and then immediately still can't say that he's against noodles. So it's fun.
Hey, all right. First of all, I didn't give up Italian. I had Italian stripped from me. Okay.
Yeah, the Italian war king lord. I don't know how they work
Chef
over there.
Boyardee.
Yeah, Chef Boyardee walked up to him and tore the patch off of his fucking leggings. I don't know what Italians wear.
Spaghetti.
Lederhosen spaghetti, I guess. I don't know.
Lederhosen. All right. So what's
Anyway,
next?
go ahead.
Yeah, so for
Nice.
the cops show up and it's Dead Man on Campus, which is just a weird choice. Like, I think that guy had his boom between 90 and 95.
You kids need some assistance?
Oh, are you talking about Baby Dick from Scary Movie?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. I was like, wait. That guy, and I was like, oh, I Googled him. Oh, Baby Dick. Yeah.
He was also the crazy roommate in Dead Man on Campus they were trying to convince to unalive himself.
He was in a few things in that short span of years.
Yeah, that's
And
like
then
his existence was like 90 to 95. So they go to the police station.
Where Lori is being questioned.
And Lori hears the cops in the very beginning of this scene talking about it's Freddy, and the cop's like, don't you ever say that name again.
And once again, our so-called protagonist, Final Girl, is going to get a lot of people killed.
Yep.
Exactly.
The virgin of this flick that clearly looks like the one unpromiscuous person in this group of friends.
Every shot leading up to them talking about her being a virgin is a shot of her boobs.
Yes.
They did have like the Jennifer Love Hewitt approach to cinematography when it came to this character, yes.
Yep. Even when Freddy like scarred her, they were like just arrows pointing at her boobs.
But she has a dream while she's in there in the interrogation room.
Yes.
She hears her name, and it's I think it's whispered by Freddy, possibly. And she's suddenly in a dream, and there is blood pouring down the wall behind her. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can hear sounds of kids crying, and there's a kid with her eyes gouged.
Yep.
That tells her about Freddy and what they call him.
Yep.
And the missing kids posters coming to life, loved that.
Yeah,
I love that effect.
That.
And the eyeless girl, what she says, warn your friends, warn everyone. Yet again, validation for everything we've been saying through every film in this series. Their protagonist is the secondary antagonist.
Yep.
We need you to be the reason all your friends die.
Exactly.
Was that
it feels so awesome to be right.
Was that actress who played her a young Billie Eilish?
Fuck you, Scott.
Well, she's actually Monica Keena, and it's funny that as she was only born 5 years before Nightmare on Elm Street was released, but when she did get to see it for the first time, Freddy terrified her as a child, so much so to the point that her teachers thought she was being abused because she couldn't sleep and it was affecting her physical appearance. And apparently her mom had to put up a picture of Freddy next to a picture of Robert Englund without makeup in her room in order to help her sleep.
I think he was making a pun about the girl without eyes, but that was a good segue.
I was just setting that up. It was fantastic.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
I think the actress's name was Ilis Jones.
You're an idiot too. I hate both of you.
And there's the iconic little girls jumping rope in this, which I love.
Yeah, brought that back.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's kind of.
They did a lot of taking the strong points of both series of films and, finding a way to incorporate them here.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's. I was going to say the same thing. You can't have this movie without having all these little iconic things because this movie only exists to be the iconic thing, right?
But at the same time, it doesn't just feel. I mean, like I said, it's pretty clever the way they come up with to actually get them together and get them fighting. You know, it's not just. It doesn't come off as lazy.
So then from there, you pick up on Blake and his father talking, and
Blake talking to himself.
Yeah, and Blake talking to himself. He's doing like really forced exposition. And then his father comes out and he's like, "Oh, well, fuck him, are you drinking?" And he was like, "My friend's dead, Dad. What the fuck? Get out of here." And drink.
Freddy comes to him in a dream.
Yes, he hears like the music and he walks out in the street and Freddy pulls like the fucking Michael Jackson shadow thing.
It was nice. Shadow thing, yeah.
I'm just leaving open windows here to speak.
And they're killing you.
This is what we had talked about earlier. This film is a good film. We all kind of enjoyed this film, and this leads that a lot of these are going to be shorter episodes because we're like, well, can't shit on that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just waiting till they get past the Freddy part of this to get to the Jason part of this, which is really the part that's worth talking about.
So Freddy's shadow boxes this guy and tries to kill him, and he can't. And he like stabs him with his shadow, and the guy's like, "Oh!" And then he's like, "Oh fuck, no, I'm still good. Oh, cool." And he just kind of waddles away. And then Freddy's all like, "Not strong enough yet. I will be soon. Until then, I'll let Jason have some fun." This is all right. But
so he wakes up, and his dad, who is obviously dead, is sitting next to him. And he grabs his dad and shakes him, and just his head hilariously just pops off.
Yes.
It is so funny. I laughed. I lolled when I saw that shit. It is, and like, so when Jason appears and kills the guy with the machete, it looked to me, did it look to you guys like when it cuts away real quick that he was trying to block the machete blow with his dad's head?
Yes, and again, he seemed far enough away he would have been fine. That it would have hit the dad's head, but I guess with that growing machete, it still works out well.
I wonder if that was an MPAA cut. If
Maybe.
That's the case. They thought it was too disturbing to show him like blocking or attempting to block the blow with his dad's head, because we know obviously it killed the kid, so that means the shot would have been the machete going all the way through the head and into the kid. Seems to me like probably an MPAA cut.
See, you say that, and I again remind you that every attack where Jason is swinging his sword at somebody seemed like he couldn't see through the mask, so they had them a good distance away. Every one of these attacks from Jason does not seem like it misses the mark unless it's a stab down attack.
I think
they all move out of the way before he has a chance to hit him.
Yes.
This might actually be because, I don't want to be the one to bring this up, but Jason's dead.
Well, so is Freddy. I mean,
Jason's...
fuck, there was a movie called Freddy's Dead.
There was.
That's fair.
So after he chops the kid, there's this thing in this movie that keeps like baffling me, and that's the good blood and the bad blood. The good blood was the blood from the boyfriend on the floor and how it seeped in and it kind of was on her feet. The bad, this really bright fucking blood that they splatter on the wall. And then there's the CG blood, which is the third blood, and I fucking hate the CG blood.
Yeah, and why? Okay, so I mean, this is hopping ahead, but with what's his face, Mark, like when he goes into the bathroom, sees his unalived himself brother, and he's standing in the blood that becomes the tentacles that goes into his feet. Like, you're telling me you couldn't have figured something out that would have looked better than that? That looked fucking terrible.
But it was something that they had like really, really wanted to do. Like that was his vision there, that particular scene. So after the other guy is killed, it cuts to them in the loony bin, and it shows Mark and his friend Will, and they're, you know, taking the hypnosil, and he's like, "What the fuck is this?" And he's like, "You don't matter." And then Will sees on the TV that Lori is like, there's a murder at her house, and he freaks out, and he's like, "We got to get the fuck out of here because I got to take care of Lori." So him and Mark come up with this idea to like get the guards pissed off. So Mark comes over and sticks his bare ass in the window of the guards, and then he farts. And we finally get what Graham wanted, which was a fart in a Freddy movie.
Shut the fuck up!
It's technically, you know, it's not Freddy farting, but it could be just Freddy farting. It could be Freddy farting.
What is that?
Brandy's packing
Are
back
you
cigarettes.
She was clapping at you.
Hers are clapping.
No! You deserve no claps.
Brandy gave me the clap.
I didn't actually. When I watched the movie, I didn't hear any farts. So you're saying you heard a fart while you were watching it with Grim?
She farted.
I'm a fart.
The guy in the movie farted.
Okay, buddy, I'll take your word for it. But I didn't. I mean, I just got to call it like I see it or heard it.
So the kid gets doped up.
Able to grab the keys.
He was able to grab the keys, and they both like get the fuck out of there basically and go to the school.
Where we're introduced to Not Jay from Not Jay and Silent Bob.
That's correct.
Yes.
That's correct. Now, funny little story about this. Grim says that she called him Jay's son, right?
It's Jay's son.
So if Jason Mewes had a son and named him Jason, he could introduce them both as, "Hi, I'm Jay, aka the letter J. This is my son, Jason, aka Jay's son."
Nobody laughed.
I hate everything that just happened.
It was great. It was great. Good job, Matt.
Thank
you.
you.
Tried hard.
Thank you.
You disagreed the first time he made that joke.
I don't know what you're talking about. Get back to the past just to show me off.
So this guy that they clearly wanted to be a main character but couldn't figure a way to shoehorn him in, first appears here 20 minutes into the movie. And he's handing out flyers for a party. And they introduce another character, Linderman, who is the nerdy, want-to-be love interest of Lori.
And Kia shoos him away.
Yes, and Kia, her friend, is like, "Linderman, we ain't got time for nerdy tongue tussling," or some shit like that. So
until later when that Will is in the picture, and then he totally just pivots to,
pivots hard. So then Will's friend, or what's his name? Mark comes walking up, and he's like, "Oh, you're freaking out? His name's Freddy, and he did this and he did that, and Freddy's this badass motherfucker that's gonna fucking kill all of you, especially if I tell you all that he's literally gonna kill all of you." And then Will hits the corner, and he's like, "What's that?"
Well, the one person that actually knows and remembers the story of Freddy and should definitely know better, make sure to yell all of this out with 30 other students surrounding him.
Yep.
Yeah. And apparently, whoever wrote this movie sat around and watched all the other installments like we did and came to the same conclusion.
Yep.
That these people that are supposed to be your protagonists are actually directly responsible for many deaths.
Yep. So then Will's like, oh shit, calm down, Mark, you're going to scare her. And she passes out, which I'd like to denote she passes out the way someone would actually pass out, not like a sort of movie pass out. I think it was a good pass out, is what I'm trying to get at.
It was a good pass out.
Well, yes, because we talked about this when we were watching it. Movie pass outs, typically, you see them fall backwards, but that's not actually how it's likely to happen. You're more likely to tilt forward, especially if your knees go down first. You're more likely to fall on your face than just suddenly go dead weight and flop over backwards.
So then she wakes up in the ER. Well, she's in the ER, and her friend Kia falls asleep. Well, we assume, looking at a fucking plastic surgery book, because earlier she had said, "Do you think my nose would look better if I got it changed?" And she's thumbing through it, and she looks up to the nurse, and she's like, "Hey, do you think a nose job would hurt?" And the nurse has a note on her desk that this big sign that says, "Sorry, the nurse cannot help you."
Well, what kind of like high school clinic is going to have magazines of plastic surgery?
The ones in Springwood, because they don't let kids in the hospitals.
Oh, that must be it. There you go.
They got to put all that information there to sell them on stuff in the future, because they can't go to the hospital. They can't sell that shit there.
They have to just like eat some random berries in the woods and hope that fixes whatever's wrong with them.
So then Freddy pops out of the thing and sticks his claws in her nose and goes, "Got your nose!" And then flicks her nose off, which, you know, as everyone says, a nose would not come off like that.
And the effect looked like shit. But here's the thing, like, at least, and this is a subtle thing, like, and we've discussed before how, you know, especially in part 4, and, you know, they'll set up these kills for the, you know, for people in Freddy movies. And it's like something really like, you can tell the scene early on where they're like, oh, well, that's how they're going to die, you know, like the bug in the food in part 4. At least like that wasn't the tell for, you know, how she was going to die. It was almost like, again, the writer, it's kind of lazy how they do that. So like, yeah, we'll fucking, we'll visit it, but that's not how we're killing the character. I mean, come on, you know.
I personally don't think that Freddy was able to kill anybody with their dreams in this.
Huh?
That's probably true. He probably wasn't strong.
Well, killed Mark.
True.
Well, at the same time, though, I don't know that it was about killing everyone in their dreams to begin with, because he still had to find a way to spread the fear of him first.
Yeah, in this movie, it kind of almost surmises that, regardless of if Freddy kills them or not, that's not his end goal. His end goal is to get more people afraid.
Oh, yeah. I'm just talking about like how it, you know, you were set up with the line about the plastic surgery, and in earlier movies, that would have been a death sentence.
Yes.
The way it's done here is... Huh?
I agree with you that in earlier movies that would have been a death sentence immediately. It wouldn't have taken this long to get to that point. As soon as she made the plastic surgery reference, within the next 2 scenes, you should have been seeing that happen. But like I said before, I don't think it was about killing yet for Freddy, because he still had to build his storyline. He had to build the fear in all of these kids. They all had to be thinking about him and dreaming of him before he could get started on the murdering. Because if he murders the first one that remembers his name, how does his name get spread?
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt. And I like
takes over, then he loses his chance because now he's tied up with Jason.
Yeah.
No doubt. And I like that. That's what I'm saying. I like that he didn't, whether it was because he was able to or not, or because of whatever his intentions were. It's just like, in an earlier movie, like it would have been lazier, and this is just another example of how this movie isn't lazy. It actually does some things very cleverly.
And so before we go to break, right there, she wakes up and it goes back to Mark and Will, who are like, man, you scared the shit out of her, la la Lou. And then the cops show up and they run out of the school, and the cops park like everybody parks at Buckeyes, literally right in front of the goddamn door.
Yes, they do.
But they run away from there and they go and hop in fucking Mark's like shaggin' wagon, which has a badass like Misfits fucking smell thing hanging from the rear view mirror.
It was a Crimson Ghost air freshener, and yes, I spotted it too, bro. Loved it.
Yeah. So on that note, we will go to commercial break.
Well, one thing real quick. Didn't we say this episode would be shorter because we all liked it? Because it doesn't seem to be playing out that way.
Definitely lied.
Well, my theory is disproven then, but the movie is still awesome.
It is good.
Quick break. We'll be right back.
And
Scott,
hello.
are you there?
I guess not. All right, this is our podcast now. Fuck that, Scott. Hello. Okay, Scott.
All right. Well, now that he's gone.
All right, so we've eradicated Scott from this podcast. Think everything that we can possibly think. He probably will end it soon. I would assume.
Matt, we're back. Get in here.
Yo.
I hope you guys enjoyed that very special break. I know I did. I enjoy any break that I get.
Breaks are nice.
So yeah.
So let's keep this baby rolling down the hill.
So we pick up on them in their little vanny poo, and they're like, we got to do something about this. And Mark's like, well, I'm going to go home. And Will's like, well, I'm going to go over here.
And they split ways from their Ruby Doo van.
Which is what you do in horror films.
And he's like, but bro, you got to take care of my van. My unalived brother, he loved this van so much.
Yep. And so then you go to the party scene.
The cornfield rave.
It's a cornfield rave with the most like binary ass rave music and the most binary ass raver people. And there's like the football jock there bullshitting. You've got the not Jay or Jay's son there, like the whole shaboogle. Everybody's there. And you've got Lori over here like jamming on a car like her, friends haven't been murdered in her house and she didn't just recently see her ex-boyfriend. None of that stuff seems to matter.
Not when there's sweet ass tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a kegger, bro. What do you want her to do? Fucking write some poetry, put on some mascara?
I miss my friends.
Yeah.
I miss my friends.
But yeah, Will and Lori get to reunite, and he's like, blah, 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 been locked away, blah, 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 that bullshit story.
And then he's about to tell her that he thinks that her dad killed her mom, and her friend comes over like, yeah, fuck that noise, beer, let's jam. And then they're like, I don't know if that's exactly it. I don't want to get a copyright claim against me, but that was really close to how bad the music sounded.
I thought that was the music.
Oh, ha! So
I thought you pressed play like you had it paused this whole time. Just waiting to get the music.
I kind of got into it.
All these people in line getting drinks, and they're talking about how the kid got killed, and not Jason says something about, yeah, man, he totally fucking he fucking stabbed him and gutted him and blah blah blah, and there's fucking blood everywhere.
He's deader than shit.
And then Gibbs is like standing next to him, and you can see he's like, she's standing right behind me, isn't she, motherfucker? And she like hits him in the face with an empty glass and wanders off into the woods, cornfield,
and sees her dead ex.
Then she sees her dead ex like
still being a douche.
Yeah, but it's funny because they didn't show him, but they had the reference to where he's like holding his head because his body is smashed up and he's like standing in this really weird way.
And of course, she's used to the abuse, so she's like, I'm gonna go with you. And he's like, don't make me wait.
Don't make me wait, bitch.
Shut up.
So she follows him through the woods, which technically is just a reference to her falling asleep. And so she kind of passes out in the corn.
Yeah, and if you're in a relationship like this chick was in, like leave, like talk to somebody, please.
No shit.
Don't put yourself through that. I mean, he's dead.
God, no.
Yeah, he was cartoonishly douchey.
Yes.
Yeah. But man, I figured Gib was gonna die. I mean, I figured she'd get killed. It still sucks though, but at least we get the fucking awesome scene where she gets killed in the real world while Freddy is about to kill her, and it's almost the inverse of what happens when you watch Freddy kill somebody from the real world.
So she falls asleep in the corn, and the Ravist comes up, and this guy in Ravist gear comes up and starts trying to like kiss on her. That's why I call him the Ravist.
I see what you did there. I like it. I like it.
So then Gibbs is wandering around the boiler room, and Freddy's fucking with her and knocks her down and all this other shit. Then she hides in a fucking locker. And then Freddy
his line where it's the only thing to fear is fear himself.
Yeah, he says all those people out there are scared of Jason, but all you need to fear is fear himself. Then she falls over, hides in the locker. Freddy pops up right about to stab her, and then bam, her fucking chest explodes like she's from fucking Aliens, right? And you get another first in the Freddy series. And that is Freddy reacting to something that he did not expect to happen and being splattered with blood. That's never happened before.
So her, Gibbs, and the random Ravist is Jason's 4th and 5th kill.
Yes, because Jason just fucking it kind of does what he did to Christian Slater. Is that right? Kevin Bacon. And just skewers him on top
and then
of something.
Throws him for like 3 fucking miles.
Yes, yes. So then Freddy's like, no, she's mine, bitch. And so Jason's like, well, yeah, fuck all that. I'm going to go and kill these fucking kids at this party. So he goes over to the party, and there's the redneck guy, and he's like, man, this fucking Everclear has really got me messed up. Exposition. Then Jason walks up, and he's like, hey, man, you're in the wrong place. This ain't some hee-haw shindig doopity doo-doo. And then the other guy with him's like, yeah, bro, you're not even invited to this. And Jason just grabs him and spins his fucking head around.
Again, hilarious.
Tubby McFootball splashes him with a picture of fucking Everclear, because who has a fucking picture of pure Everclear? And then lights it with a torch as if he splashed Jason, and Jason's like, all right, you know what? I'm going to chill for a second. I want to see where this goes.
But the shot of Jason walking through the corn while on fire is fantastic.
That's what Brandy was saying. She loved that scene.
I love how it shows him running in kind of an arc, and Jason's just walking. As if showing you how Jason's able to move from point A to point B faster because the people are freaking the fuck out and can't think of how to run in a straight line.
It's hard.
Right, that overhead shot shows him moving directly forward and setting all the corn behind him on fire, whereas the guy running in front of him is doing this like crazy zigzag pattern, like he can't remember how to get to the party he just came from, and is right.
But I mean, as awesome as that scene looks, I mean, like you could see Jason the whole time he's on fucking fire. Like it wouldn't have been that hard to like not the way that was.
So he
still looked good though. Still looked good.
The guy breaks the corn with a mouthful of blood, so you know he's about to die. Then Jason throws the flaming machete, which somehow stays on fire after it stabs through a guy.
Blows my mind. How did that stay on fire?
I don't know, but damn, I'm glad it did. Whatever, I'm along for the ride. I don't know what it is about this movie. I'm just like, yeah, of course it did. Why not?
Yeah, why not? So then Jason like swords in the stones the fucking burning machete out of this kid, and he's still on fire, and then he just starts chopping people up, which again, it just seems like he couldn't see, so they had him set up to shimp the camera where he could just go wherever he wanted to, and nobody was gonna like actually get hurt, and then they added in all the hurt.
No, during that slashing scene, he killed like up to 6 people. I want to say like 6 people, and a keg of beer.
Yes, and he went after the guy with the keg of beer who was like spraying him with beer to get him to go away or something. And then he slashes the keg of beer and puts the fire out.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one that I think is the most obvious that you were talking about, where it seems like where he's striking obviously misses whoever he's aiming at. Because on that one, the dude's already like writhing on the side of the keg next to the slash mark almost before he even hits him.
Yeah. Yep. So Jace, everybody goes running away from the party, and you get the main characters like all grouped up, which is Kia and Lori and Mark and Will and Linderman and not Jay. And they stumble upon Gibbs's body, and they're like, oh, fuck. And they're like, yeah, we ain't got time to mourn this shit. Let's get the hell out of here. They all go jump in the fucking shaggin' wagon.
And that's how Not Jay becomes a main character, is right here.
This is literally middle of the fucking film, and they're like, you know what? We lied. There's another main character. Not Jay. Boom. Welcome, Not Jay.
Well, I mean, you dropped one, so you pick up another, right?
That's fair.
they spent the like 10 seconds mourning Gib, and now you got a space available. So
now, as a completely off of the movie reference, in Never Sleep Again, the documentary about this movie, the main girl is talking about how she felt like this character was a complete ripoff of Jason Mewes' character. And in Never Sleep Again, it suddenly switches over to Jason Mewes, and Jason Mewes is like, yeah, man, when I played that character, and he's like, oh, fuck. Wait a minute, I wasn't in this fucking movie, and then he just walks off set. It was the weirdest shit in Never Sleep Again. Fucking hilarious.
And by the way, Not Jay's name is Freebird.
Freebird, yes, that's your name. How ironic.
No, my name is Freebird, which is, I'm sure, what the reference was there. I don't really get it, but I mean, come on, it's got to be Freebird, right?
Yeah, of course, because that's what I think of when I think of hippies.
Yeah, I guess. Why not?
So, of course, Linderman goes home. He's like, fuck this, I want to go home. Everybody kind of goes their respective ways. And then Mark finally drops the bombshell on Lori, and he's like, hey, I fucking saw your dad kill your mom. And Lori's like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, Lori's dad shows up, and he's like this parody of like the poor man's Liam Neeson.
Like, snatches her ass.
Where he's like, Lori, you have to listen to me. I don't know what's going on, but you have to trust me.
Wait, was he like? Did he have his mouth full of oatmeal and like
Yes.
drunk as hell?
Yes,
like, what is happening
both
with
of
that
us.
character?
And so Mark, like, all pussies out and gets his ass choked, and Lori runs home, and her dad's like, fucking, we'll talk about this in the morning. We'll talk about this in the morning. And then
Just
she's like,
take
I
some
don't want to
pills.
talk. What?
Just take some pills.
Is Scott snoring?
No.
Yes.
Damn it.
God damn it, Scott. Can you not stay away from the podcast?
Well, it's already Monday.
We're all sitting here like, what's that noise?
You guys promised me a short episode. And I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds fun.
Did we make a promise that you thought we were going to keep? You keep falling for that one. You're so easy.
Wait, I am awake right now. This isn't the nightmare, right?
Nope, this is the nightmare. You're now stuck in a fucking 8-hour Freddy's Dead podcast for the rest of time.
Let's tie the bitch up.
So Lori escapes from there, hooks up back with Will, goes to the basement to hang out with all the other fucking Scooby gang, plus not Jason. And the cop shows up and he's like, dude, I'm gonna totally help you get this guy. And the cop is the one fucking person that does what could have saved this whole fucking group of people. And that is, fuck Freddy, pay attention to Jason. Freddy would have been done.
Yeah, fair enough.
So they all are like, hey, we got to fucking deal with all this shit. So they decide to go to the loony bin to get the hypnosil so they can keep from being killed by Freddy, even though, again, Jason being the biggest threat to them, because all they have to do is not think about Freddy.
Did we skip over Mark's death?
No, because they go back to like find Mark and it's raining or whatever and they're freaking out, and Mark is himself like, he's already researched. Of course, earlier him and Will researched this and came up with some conclusions about what they thought, and of course Mark figured it out. Wait, Mark. I don't know. Mark figured it out like instantaneously. He only had to look at a couple of blacked out like death records, and he was like, fucking Bing, I know everything. Fuck, I killed all those people.
Yep.
Yes.
And so they go to find Mark, and Mark is in his room, and he falls asleep and has a dream about his brother basically like committing suicide again, and Freddy's there. And Freddy is the brother, and then all this shit happens. There's these fucking blood snakes that tie into his legs, and he catches on fire, and they make the reference to the sucking mouthpieces from different movies. A lot of references in this one. And then Freddy, like,
the cuts on his face, that looked awesome. Like when he's looking at him through the mirror, and all of a sudden he's got the claw marks across his face.
And then Freddy, like, of course, right off the jump, Freddy uses fire, which is kind of like contrary to the imagery of this movie, but, you know, whatever, we'll let that one slide. But then he tears open his back, and to let him deliver a message to Lori, he burns Freddy's back into this guy's back, which is kind of a mixed message.
No, that's his ownership. It's his property. This is
Freddy's
it's like
back. Oh my
Freddy's
God,
back.
Freddy's back. And then Will's like, no. He's not saying Freddy's back. He's saying Freddy owns this guy's back. So technically, he can just do whatever he wants to.
He set claim to that back. And I think that was
big prison vibes.
Yes.
Freddy's first kill.
And I love how much it looks like the soap with Fight Club on it for some reason.
Yeah. Definitely harkens back to the Fight Club soap. So he dies, and then flash forward to all them sitting around trying to think of what to do. The cops there, yada yada. Lori falls asleep again and has a dream that they're all trying to kill her. Then they're like, fuck it, and they bug out to go to the fucking insane asylum. And like sort of immediately Will knows what he's doing because he's like, come this way. This is the way through here. And they're like, who the fuck are these guys? And they come into a room with all these people like tied up to these machines. And Mark's like, these are all the people that wouldn't stop dreaming or that OD'd on Hypnosil, right? So Freddy decides the best thing to do is to like take over the stoner guy. And this is another one of my favorite things from this movie is the little like caterpillar Alice in Wonderland Freddy that blows smoke in his face and with a hookah and then eventually like falls into his throat and takes his body over. Great shit. Love the fuck out of that shit.
Yeah, and to anybody listening, I better not hear any gripes about the bong hitting Freddy Caterpillar possessing Freebird after the cartoonish shit I've been watching over the past 2 months.
Right.
I love that. That was like an Alice in Wonderland reference, I think.
Hardcore. So he takes over Freebird, and here's where I kind of got a little bit confused. Couldn't he have just taken over Freebird, got rid of all the Hypnosil, and unhooked all those people to get the power that he needed for people to believe in him?
I think so.
Because all those kids that were there, they would give him power if they were released, right?
I mean, does he get the power if did they have to know that they're dying by his hand because they were comatose?
Yeah, but if they woke them up, because I don't know, to me it seems like the answer for Freddy was just to get rid of the Hypnosil, period, and he could have had everybody in the hospital.
Yeah, and
Well,
like that was still, like the assumption that he was operating under, because he had Freebird get rid of it, but then came about, well, I got to get rid of Jason. If I can get rid of Jason, then I've got.
Yeah, because that's when he had his epiphany that, oh, fuck, this will work. Now I just got to get rid of this motherfucker and everything will be fine. So he goes after Jason in another great scene. Of course, Jason comes in and tries to kill the cop and Linderman, who are together. Jason stabs his fucking knife into the fucking middle console and starts electrocuting himself. The cop's like, get out of here, Linderman! And Jason grabs the cop and fucking fries him with the electricity going through his body. Then, for the first time in this movie, you get a really, like, aside from the toss of the guy in the cornfield, this is where the tossing really gets, like, starts kicking up. So he tosses the guy through the door, and then he comes after them. And the not Jason Mewes is standing there, and they're all running past him to get away from Jason. And they're like, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. And he's like, I got this, bitch. Or no, he says, let me handle this, bitch. And they're like, oh, fuck. Oh, never mind. That's Freddy. He'll be fine. And he puts like sedatives in him and then he gets cut in half. So they were like, oh, he was still in danger. Oh, Luke.
And this was Jason's 15th kill. Yeah.
So again, Freddy 1, Jason 15.
Yep.
The Friday movies always, typically had a very, very body count compared to movies.
So now that Jason passes out, the girl gets the bright idea to throw him in the back of the van doped up so she can fall asleep and bring Freddy back into the real world. Now, my problem with this is they're literally in a small area moving van trying to pit these two like super forces together. What the fuck did they think was about to happen?
Well, not only that, but this is actually one of my biggest problems with this movie. All right, the logic that Jason won't follow them after he's home. They literally say that. Dude, if you're in Jason's home, you are fucked. I mean, that is the whole premise behind the 13th series. Is if you go to Camp Crystal Lake, it's your ass. You're fucking dead. And on top of that, now you're gonna have Freddy there too. So, not a good plan at all.
Not a good plan at all. So, of course,
Freddy invades Jason's dreams.
They get to Freddy invades Jason's dreams, and then she goes into Freddy's invasion of Jason's dream. Little murky. And she's in Camp Crystal Lake now, and they're like, all the counselors are like fucking on the porch, like, oh yeah, we don't care about that kid. We're busy fucking. And then one of them becomes Freddy, and he's fucking the dead girl. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah, again, just like so over the top, but it was like, yeah, all right, man, yeah, sure.
So then she sees, young Jason being picked on, and he gets, basically knocked down in the water. She tries to save him. Then Freddy comes out of nowhere and grabs him and pulls him down. And it kind of shows him in Jason's dream. And they begin this big, battle between the two of them in the dream world. And Freddy in this one kind of kicks the shit out of Jason. He tries to fight him. But Freddy, it's Freddy's world. He just uses him like a pinball machine.
I fucking loved the pinball scene so fucking much. And Brandy was laughing so fucking hard about it too. I know she enjoyed it.
And again, that's why
Yes, I loved all the sounds of the pinball machine with him bouncing around the room. I thought that was fantastic.
And then he hits
for once, Freddy's quip when he says tilt.
Yeah.
That actually it has bearing on what's going on. Because yes, it's a pinball machine, but what does it mean? It means you're cheating. And that's exactly what's happening because Jason is in Freddy's world. It is like he's cheating.
That's a very good observation. I didn't even think about that. So then,
well, at the same time, though, you could say that from the very beginning of this movie, Jason was in Freddy's world. Jason was brought back simply because Freddy implanted himself into a dream for Jason to have. That's the only reason he's even here, is because Freddy manipulated the whole thing in the way that he does.
Yep. So then it happens that he keeps fucking with him and he won't die, and Freddy's like, why won't you die? And then, somehow he gets, water near Jason, and he realizes, oh, holy shit, you're afraid of water, which is weird. Because Jason comes out of the water all the time.
As much as I really enjoyed this entire movie, this is the one part I really don't like. It makes absolutely no sense for them to suddenly try to make it out like Jason's afraid of water and Freddy's afraid of fire. That makes no sense to me.
I felt the same way.
But the water makes Jason revert back to his kid self, and I think they missed a very big opportunity because Freddy's always been kind of slime bally around kids. I was expecting him to be like, oh, holy shit, you're hot as fuck.
Wow.
Well, they pulled it. They pulled it from Jason Takes Manhattan. Remember at the end of that when the sewer floods? And then, Jason sees it, he freaks out and starts puking up water. And then when the water subsides, it's the Jason kid. So that's pulled directly from one of the Friday films. But speaking of stupid shit that happens around this time, them thinking that they need to give Jason mouth to mouth.
Yes.
Yes.
That was like I said, podcast, toward the end, which is about right here, there's some stupid right. Who in the fuck would think that giving Jason mouth to mouth is what needs to happen here? They've seen him in action. They know killing machine, and now they see him coughing up water. He's about to revive. He is showing signs of life. So you need to be the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Even though
you're
it was
not
really.
Oh my God. You're not saying, oh my God, he's killing him. You're saying, oh my God, this motherfucker's waking up.
Yep.
Yeah, at this point, I left the theater because I could tell he was coming back.
So, of course, he wakes up from the dream and fucking makes them wreck the van.
And Jason's flung the fuck out.
And Jason's flung the fuck out.
And out of Freddy's grasp.
And they bring the girl to a cabin because they've wrecked the van. And she's still in the dream. She hasn't woke up yet. But she's like, now Freddy's on top of her, and this is the greatest, like, Freddy demon look.
He looked just like an imp to me.
He looked like an imp from Lord of the Rings in this.
He did look really cool.
I love this demon look.
He looked better than he point Nightmare.
Yes.
Agreed.
Oh, and so, of course, like, he's talking to Lori while she's still in the dream, and he says to her, like, one of the good lines that he says, I've always had a thing for the whores in this house.
Yeah.
Because apparently her dad decided to live in the Freddy house after all that.
And the reveal that it was Freddy killing her mom was kind of dumb.
Yeah,
and I don't really get at what actually happened there, really.
Me neither.
No, they made it look like he was making out with her instead. It was weird.
That still tracks.
Still tracks. And then there's the Jason. I love that iconic shit.
Yeah.
So much.
The kill, 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 pop, pop.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, of course, then all of a sudden, Jason comes in, starts fucking shit up. Everything catches on fucking fire and shit. And then in Lori's dream, while Freddy is literally about to molest her and, like, definitely makes it seem like he's about to put a claw inside of her in not a murderous way, after drawing arrows to where her boobs were at. Then
boobs are very prominent in these shots.
And Freddy says, I should warn you, princess. Let me see the line. I should warn you, princess, that the first time tends to get a little messy. And
Gross.
then she burns her arm in the fire and starts to wake up and grabs him. And he wakes up and all this like shitty Monster Jam music starts playing. Jung, 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 jung. And it shows Freddy stand up noticing that Jason's there. And then it's just like everything's on fire. There's a line of fire between them. Jason and Freddy walk over to each other and it literally looks like the versus scene from like Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
But with a new metal soundtrack.
Yes, and it seemed like it should have been like, Freddy, Jason, fight! And then, boom, they just start going the fuck at it.
Yes, and everybody keeps getting tossed into the same wall.
Yeah,
and
there's
like,
one wall in this cabin is soaked. It's also on fire, and it's had 3 different bodies flung against it, and it's still held up. That is some fucking carpentry.
Because fuck that house, bro.
Yeah, that cabin is definitely amazing to hold up to all of this. But so I know this podcast, this particular episode is never ending, but don't we need to take another break?
Is Scott still awake?
We're going to just keep rolling through.
All right, yeah, boy.
Yeah, and
So-
guys, please don't wake me up again.
Poor Scott.
So Freddy and Jason fight, and there's so many different things you could say about the fight with Freddy and Jason, but it's what you expect from a fight with Freddy and Jason. Would any of you guys like to take a couple little like this happened or this happened, like anything that stood out to you? Because again,
we could probably talk about this movie for like a million years more, but there's a fight between Freddy and Jason that is phenomenal. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
I
I'll
think
go
it's
through.
worth watching for sure.
I will say this about the fight between them. When it gets outside and you've got Kia like doing her obviously improving stuff at Freddy about having a little dick and all that stuff.
Yes.
Like her acting is fucking cringeworthy. I was like, on hurry up and kill her. Like,
yes,
put her out of our misery. Like,
yes, it is. It is extremely obvious that this was not part of the original script and that it is improv. In fact, the original script had her talking to Jason at this point, and Freddy is the one that comes up behind her and says, "Wrong one, bitch," and then kills her. But this whole scene was improv.
Yeah.
So when it starts off, Freddy goes, "Oh, how sweet dark meat," which I was like already, that's kind of cringy, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But then Kia hits out with a very worse slur against Freddy, and I was like, all right, never fucking mind. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah.
And it was different times that they said that shit, because that shit would not fly right now.
Back to
God
Freddy's
no.
that he used the oxygen tanks as torpedoes against Jason. That was fun to watch. And the metal rods that impaled Jason, that was awesome.
Yes, agreed. Great fight.
Well, when they get on the pier, are we gonna go ahead and hop ahead that far?
Yeah, I would say, look, again, people, we'd love to sit here and explain to you all the craziness that happened between Freddy and Jason fighting, but listen,
But just watch it.
All these movies, watch this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, we're not gonna give you a blow by blow. Just, you
I mean,
know.
Obviously, we've told you the issues, but it is a great movie to watch. Just have fun with it.
So, of course, go ahead and
ahead.
pick up on the dock at this point, where they kind of battle their way to.
Yeah, so Freddy and Jason, by the time they're on the dock, the pier, or whatever, they're like, the fight's getting brutal. I mean, fucking Freddy like gouges Jason's eyes out with the glove and everything. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But the humans are busy trying to catch the pier on fire.
The dumbest
a way out of this. You know, like they're surrounded by water. What is this gonna accomplish?
Literally, fuck all.
Yeah. And so we get like the awesome, like you think it's Jason walking up on him with the machete, but it's Freddy, with the one arm. And then just before he kills him, all of a sudden his glove comes flying through his chest. And it's Jason using Freddy's entire fucking gloved arm as a weapon.
Yes.
Then he falls back in the water. Like the final fight between them, especially there in the final minutes, it gets really brutal and it's really cool.
And he falls down to his knees, and Lori picks up the machete, and she's like, I'm fucking done with this stupid fucking bullshit, and cuts his fucking head off.
I hated that. She did not deserve that. That dumb bitch did not. They should have died. I'm so mad they didn't die. So mad. Man.
And so Freddy falls into the water, and this is one thing that's kind of like I went back and forth with. Jason pops out of the water and stabs Freddy, and almost like sees the chick, and he's like, whoa, holy fucking shit, that chick's up there. Okay, she's pretty badass. I'm going to just hang out in the water for a while. Then Freddy goes in, and we're like, all right, well, maybe it's like Jason's like, hi, you don't have your machete. And then she's like, fuck this machete, and throws it into the water to Jason. Again, great fucking move. But then, like, they get the fuck out of there. Time goes past, the sun comes up, and Jason's like, all right, coast is clear. That crazy bitch isn't here anymore. I can come out of the water.
And he's carrying Freddy's head.
And Freddy gives a little wink to the camera in the end.
And then more shitty music plays.
And then more shitty music and credits.
Bloody droplet credits.
Now, one scene that we didn't talk about that I thought was one of the most beautiful scenes in this movie is when he's in Jason's dream world. There's a scene where he's walking through a swamp and all the islands are like made up of heads and dead bodies.
Yeah.
And it looks really super surreal, like stage. And it's only like 10-second shot. But that fucking area, that shot was fucking amazing.
Or when Jason gets pulled out of the dream, when the wreck happens and it's just him, Freddy, and Lori, and Freddy comes like rocketing out of the water into the air. That shot looked awesome.
Agreed. That was, and again, there were so many, because it was Ronnie Wu, you know, he had just come from doing Bride of Chucky. And that's why you got Ritter's son in that role, because Ritter was in The Bride of Chucky.
Yeah, I highly recommend this movie. Actually, it is. I mean, it is so much fun.
It is a fun movie.
Not a dull moment.
And if you've been following us talk about all these movies, listen, all the Nightmare movies are fucking phenomenal, setting up the story well, except for like, you know, one that really pissed us off. 2, if you're really being technical, almost 3. But this movie right here, even if you just watch this movie, it is wall to wall activity.
It is well worth the watch for sure. I loved this movie. Although I would love to see. I think it would be awesome if somebody would release, even if it was a fan made thing. I still think it would be awesome if somebody made just a little collection of shorts showing all the different versions, like pieces of all the different versions of scripts that came out before this. I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Agreed. Well, guys, is there anything else you want to add?
I have one other thing to add, just one. So, Robert Englund couldn't tell how hot the fires were because of all the makeup he had on, and when he went to take the makeup off, it was hard, very hard for them because it had fused with his face, thanks to the heat, the fires.
What a nightmare. That's awesome.
Yep.
Anybody else have anything they want to add?
Listen to Morning Friends. Listen to Rotten Inside.
Yes.
Guys, go grab you one of those new fucking Mr. Marlin shirts. He's got 4 new ones. They look amazing.
Do it.
All right, guys. As always, stay rotten.
Stay rotten.
Stay rotten. The door is yellow.
I miss
Fuck
you,
you.
Freddy. I miss you so much.
Oh.
Stay rotten.
Did he fall?
Join us next time for another episode of Rotten Mornings.